Hello dear students and welcome to this new lesson. Today we are going to see the present simple versus the present continuous. What are the differences between these two tenses? Of course, this is a grammar lesson for third grade students. So, for this lesson you will need your focus textbook later on, a notebook of your choice, and of course a pen. So, when do we use the tenses? We start with the present simple and we notice this example, I eat pizza. So what is the verb here? Yes, the verb is eat. So, if you ask, when did you eat or when do you eat pizza? Do we have an answer in this sentence? Of course not. It's not clear. So we are not sure about the time. So when we say something and we are not sure about the time of happening, we use the present simple, of course. So I eat pizza, I am not sure when, or I didn't mention when, so you should use the present simple for the verb, which is eat. So no change happens to the verb, I eat. That's it. Now, let's notice this second example. I am eating pizza now. So you notice the difference? We have, instead of eat, I'm eating. So, if you ask the question again, when? We know when because we have the expression of time now. Now is called expression of time. It indicates that I eat pizza now. That's why I should say exactly, I am eating pizza now. So which tense did I use here? Yes, of course, because we know the time, it is now. I am using the present continuous. So the difference between these two tenses, the present simple, we don't know when, or we don't mention when the verb happens, so we use the present simple. And if you want to say that the verb happens now, the action takes place right now, at this moment, we use the present continuous. How is the form of these two tenses? The form or the structure. So let's notice this chart. We have the present simple and present continuous. And we have two examples having almost the same meaning, and then the form or the structure of each tense. So in the present simple, we say, she plays tennis. She plays tennis. So you notice that this is the present simple. Why? Because we don't have a time indicator. We didn't mention the time. So the structure is like this. We have she, the subject. The subject can be any person or animal or object. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. Or it can be a name of someone. Adil, Jack, Kim, and so on. And we have the verb is play. But we have not play, it's plays. We will see why do we have this S at the end of the verb. So this is the verb. As you can see, the present simple is, as its name indicates, it's simple. Subject and the verb. Now the present continuous, we have the person is she. We don't say the person, we say the subject, it's better. And we have what we call auxiliary. It is the verb to be in the present, or is or are. In this case, we have is because she goes with is, of course. And the verb here is play. But we have something at the end of the verb, which is ing. This is very important in the present continuous. And you should remember this, please. In the present simple, when the verb comes after he, she, or it, the verb should take s at the end. And sometimes the verb takes es. And sometimes again, the verb takes ies. This is another lesson that we are going to see someday. Okay? Now let's focus on this rule here. In the present simple, when the verb comes after he, she, or it takes s at the end. And in the present continuous, if the verb ends with e in its base form, it's in the original form, or what we call the infinitive, and we want to add ing, we should remove the e before adding ing. We will see this into examples. The present simple, for instance, we say, Kelly drinks tea. As you notice, the verb is drink, but we add s because we have the person or the subject is Kelly. And Kelly refers to who? Yes, Kelly refers to she. That's why, as we said earlier, he, she, it, we add s at the end of the verb in the present simple. That's why we add s at the end of drink, which is the verb of the sentence. Next one, the dog loves bones. Again, we have the verb is to love, and we add s at the end of it because the subject is the dog. Very good. And the dog is an animal. And we refer to the animal with it. It refers to animals and objects. That's why we should add s at the end of the verb, and we say the dog loves bones. In the present continuous, the rule that we should remember also is like this. You are baking a cake. So the verb here is to bake. But as you notice, we have e at the end of the verb, of the original or the base form of the verb. So the verb in its original form is bake with e at the end. And we have said earlier that the rule insists that we should remove the e at the end of the verb before we add ing. And the correct form is, you are baking a cake. There is no e, we add only ing. And this is the correct form. Very good. Now let's exercise using what we have learned until now. The first one, circle the right form of the verbs in the present simple. So you have some sentences, and in every sentence there are three forms of the same verb. Two forms are incorrect and one form is correct. So you take your time to read the sentences and then you circle only the correct form of the verb. I will meet you after you think about the exercise. The time is up and we should do the correction. The first one, Nadia to music. Is it listen, listens, or listening? Of course, the correct one is listens. And as you notice, we have S at the end of the verb because the subject in this sentence is Nadia, and Nadia means, again, she. So Nadia listens to music. Omar and Kim, cars in the club. Is it play, plays, or playing? Of course, the correct one is play because Omar and Kim, it makes they. So using they, we don't add S at the end of the verb. The computer on electricity, work, works, working. Again, the correct one is works. We have S at the end of the verb because the subject of the sentence is the computer. The computer is a machine, it's an object. It is referred to with it, and the verb after it takes an S. We a cake in the kitchen. Make, makes, or making. Of course, the correct one is make, because we make a cake in the kitchen. This is the correct form in the present simple. The cat, the mouse in the garden, catches, or catching, of course, catches. We have S at the end of the verb because the subject is the cat, and the cat is an animal, and animals are referred to with it. Good. We move to the next exercise in which you have to cross out the incorrect forms of the present continuous. We have a correct form and incorrect form. The incorrect form, you should cross it out to leave only the correct one within the sentence. And these are the sentences, and you will have a few time to solve this activity. Meet you after that. The time is up and we move to the correction. Now we English is learning or are learning. Of course, are learning is the correct one, so you cross out the other one. The train to the station right now is coming or is coming. This is interesting. The correct one is the first one because coming is a verb that ends with E, to come, and we should remove E before adding ing. At the moment, my father is reading or reading the newspaper. Of course, the correct one is reading. Today, students' exams are having again. The correct one is the second one because to have is a verb that finishes with E, and we should remove E before adding ing. So you cross out the first one and you leave the correct one, which is number 2. It now is raining or raining. Of course, when we talk about the rain or the snow, we refer to it with the subject it. And it goes with is, not with are, okay? So we say, it is raining now. Very good. So I hope you got most of the answers correct. Now we will move to the negative form of the present simple and present continuous. In the present simple, as you can see on the picture, they are eating what? They are eating, yes, pizza. So, these say, we don't eat cake. Don't. The negative, we don't eat cake. So, I and you and we and they in the negative form goes with don't. We say I don't, you don't, or we say I do not or you do not. Okay? It's the same meaning. Again, this man or this boy is playing what? He's playing basketball. So, he doesn't play football. He plays basketball. He doesn't. So, with he, she, and it, if you want to use the negative form in the present simple, you use doesn't or you use does not. It's the same. It's the same meaning. Okay, this is concerning the present simple. Now, in the present continuous, look at the picture, please. You see some kids or children, and they are holding school bags, and we say they are not going to cinema. Of course, they have their school bags or backpacks, so they are not going to cinema. They are going where? They are going to school, of course, or coming back from school. The next example is a girl riding a bike or a bicycle. So, she is not driving a car. This is the negative. She is not driving a car. So, in the present continuous, it's not like the present simple. All subjects are dealt with in the same way. Is or are plus not, and then of course the verb with ing. It goes without saying. Okay? Now let's do the exercise in which you have to complete the sentences about animals in the negative form using the following expressions. So you have some expressions like doesn't exist, do not love, does not have, doesn't eat, don't fly. Okay? And these are the sentences in which you have to use these expressions correctly, of course, and they are all about animals in real life. I will give you a few seconds to do this exercise, and then we will meet back. Yes, now it is time to fill in the blanks. So, cats to swim in water. Of course, cats do not love to swim in water. We have do not or don't, and we don't have doesn't or does not because cats is in the plural form. You know, it's a plural noun. That's why we say do not love to swim in water. The dinosaur today. Yes, the dinosaur doesn't exist today, of course. Next one, the shark, fruits and vegetables. Yes, the shark doesn't eat fruits and vegetables. Dogs in the sky. Of course, dogs don't fly in the sky. And the last one, the horse, 8 legs. The horse doesn't or does not have 8 legs. Who does? Of course, the spider and not the horse. Good. Now we see the next activity. Put the verbs between brackets to the right tense and form. So you have to put them in the right tense and the right form depending on the time expressions that you have in each sentence. So these are the sentences, and again, take your time to solve them using the verbs given between brackets and the form. If you have not, sometimes you have not, sometimes you don't. So if you have not, it means you should use the negative form. And if you don't have not, like in these two cases, you use simply the affirmative form. Take your time to do it. Okay, now let's see the correct forms and tenses of every verb. So I, hamburger, we have eat and not, which means I do not eat hamburger. Thomas, home now, go. So we have now, which means a time expression or indicator of now, right now, which means the present continuous. So we say Thomas is going home now. At the moment, we to dakhla, so we have at the moment, which means the present continuous. At the moment, we are traveling to dakhla. My friend Sarah, me, every day. So every day does not mean right now or at this moment of speaking, so we use does not call, just the simple present. Right now, the kids football, and we have play and not right now, which means the present continuous. So right now, the kids are not playing football, okay? Now we should use the interrogative form. This is the last form of every tense, and we should see how it is used either with the present simple and the present continuous. So starting with present simple, as you see, a man is doing something, yes, and we ask him the question, do you watch movies? Movies stands for films. Do you watch movies? So the form here is do goes with I, you, we, they. Only this time it comes before, we will see this later. And here we have a girl holding something in her hands. And we ask the question, does she have a smartphone? Does she have a smartphone? And we notice that he, she, and it goes with does in order to ask the question, because the interrogative form is about asking the questions. And as you notice, we switch the subject with do and the does with he, she, it. This is the way we use the interrogative form, okay? And at the end, of course, we add a question mark. It is important to write a question mark at the end of the question. Now the present continuous. As you can see, they are sleeping. We ask them the question, are they dancing? Of course not. And take a look at this picture. Yes. Is he fishing? So what do you notice? It's unlike the present simple. Now the present continuous is different. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they, which means all the subjects go with is or are, only they are inverted, okay? That's why is and are come before the person, and then the verb, of course, plus ing. And then we write a question mark. Look at the pictures and complete the chart. An example is given. So we have a chart that starts with picture, then subject plus verb plus time expression, and then present simple, affirmative, present simple, negative, present continuous, affirmative, and present simple, negative. And you should take a look at the pictures like this one. As you can see, the picture is of a girl playing the piano. So the subject is she, the verb play, and the time. Do we have time? Yes, we have time, which is now. When we have time, that means now or at this moment, we use the present continuous, not the present simple. So for the time we have now, this is the most important part, which means the present simple is not going to be used in this case because we are talking about something happening right now. So we should use the present continuous, affirmative and negative. So the affirmative form of the present continuous in this case, to describe this image, she is playing piano now. So the verb is in the present continuous affirmative. And we should give another one to go in the same context. She is not playing the guitar now, for instance. So you see, you say what's happening in the picture, and you say something that means the same by trying to change a few words, okay? By changing. So you try to mention what is in the picture, and in the negative you change a few words to give the same meaning and keeping the form as we have learned before. The second picture, Tim, drink, juice, we read right now, they sing at the moment, and the cat eats fish. So if we should use the present simple, go ahead and use it. And if it is about present continuous, which means you have a time indicator, use the present continuous. Take your time to think about the correct answers. Okay, time's up, and now let's try to answer the charts. So the first one, Tim drinks juice. Why did we use the present simple? Simply because we don't have a time expression. Tim drinks juice. Tim doesn't drink milk, for instance. And the present continuous is not used in this case. We read right now. So we have right now, which means the present continuous. So present simple is not going to be used. So we are reading books right now because we have the book or books in the picture. And in the negative, we are not reading newspapers right now, for instance. Okay? They sing at the moment. At the moment is a time expression, which means now. So the present simple is not going to be used. Instead, we say they are singing at the moment. And for the negative, we say they are not running at the moment. And it is a correct example. The cat eats fish. No time expression, so we should use the present simple. And we say the cat eats fish, or the cat doesn't eat a mouse. And the present continuous is not going to be used. Okay, so I hope the present simple and present continuous are clear now for you. And if you want to practice more, or you want to have to do a homework, go to your focus textbook and exactly to page 61. And you have a list of exercises that you should think of and try to answer before going to the classroom. Thank you for your attention, and please be safe from the coronavirus. See you next time in another lesson. Bye-bye.